welcome back, sports fans. We are here on another episode on the 2315 Sports Show. We're on episode 10, so we kind of discussed going back and forth. It's kind of a lull in the sporting atmosphere right now. I shouldn't say that. I mean, college basketball is still in full gear, hockey's in full gear, but we wanted to do a little different, hence the name of the title, Changing the Play. We're going to talk a little college basketball today, and then we're going to do some fun, I don't want to call them games per se, but things that let you guys get to know us as individuals. So again, nice little change up. Don't want to be kind of monotonous in this thing. So we still throw in a little sports. We're kind of skipping the news segment. We don't really have much going on this week. The only big thing before we went on air, we were not live, that Caitlin Clark did declare for the WNBA draft. So that's kind of news that I wasn't really expecting, mainly because WNBA players, I think, are grossly underpaid for how talented these women are. Now they do have to obviously afford to keep the team. So I mean, I get it. It's just not as media sized as the NBA, but hopefully it gets there, especially with these bigger names joining. But you kind of mentioned something about her, and obviously the Indiana Fever have the first pick. That's something kind of resonates with you. My daughter's a little too young to really care, but hopefully she will one day. And but you had a good kind of segment here before, so I'd let you kind of share that.
Yeah. So, as I know, I'm looking forward to. I don't watch a whole lot of WNBA. I know a lot of people don't really, care too much for it, but it'll be cool to. I thought it'd be cool to go see a game here or there, but Indianapolis only being 2.5, 3 hours away from us. My daughter, she's 9 now, so she's really starting to pick up the basketball. This is her first year actually playing ball too, so maybe it'd be something cool for us to go bond together over. So
Yeah.
go see a basketball game and see Caitlin Clark. So it'd be pretty cool. Maybe get to see some other stars that we like. So it'd be pretty cool. We like that idea of just going to events and stuff together. So get us
Yeah.
a little bonding time, some one-on-one, hopefully.
Definitely. That'd be cool. Soon enough, she'll be probably kicking your ass in one-on-one in the driveway. So
She tries now, but she can't
yeah,
handle it yet.
no, she can't handle the truth right now. So,
That's right.
um, but yeah, I like that. That's a good way to look at it. And I think the Indiana Fever, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, I haven't looked obviously at their roster or anything. It was just going to be a quick segment, but I think they have a lot of young talent. I think they got, if I'm not mistaken, last year's like first or second round pick, and I think it was the girl out of South Carolina, their center, who is a beast. So
Yeah.
they're going to have a good little young nucleus there that could make a run at it for sure. And then
Yeah.
if you get like lucky and you can go see like the New York Liberty with Ionescu and now Brianna Stewart,
Yeah.
I mean that's a big deal. So that's good. I like that. Kind of quick little news segment here. Jumping right in, like I said, we're going to do a little sports here. We are both huge college basketball fans, not of the same team, but kind of as an overview, I haven't watched much this year, and I'm kind of kicking myself for it because it looks like a very entertaining year. I'm kind of looking over at my other monitor here, and I'm looking at the top 25, and there's some teams in there that have not been in there very often. Or there's some big name teams that are way down compared to their usual years. Take Gonzaga, for instance. They're at 23 right now.
Yeah.
So, and they have a weaker conference. So I think that's kind of saying a lot. Kind of the surprise when I first looked at this, actually two surprises. One, Tennessee being ranked fourth. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty high for them. And they look decent. I've seen a couple highlights of them. I think they are older, maybe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
they've got a very veteran team.
Veteran team, so that helps. And then Marquette being top 5. Now I know they started out
Yeah,
in the top, but to keep it, and they they don't have a hard conference per se, but they have a harder schedule because I looked at it, and they play some big teams. So again, no undefeated team anymore. So I don't know. I mean, if when you look at the top 25, what's your first like reaction point of the 25? Like what sticks out to you?
yeah. So looking through there, I mean, Houston is probably the biggest surprise. Not really
Mhm.
surprised. I mean, we knew they would be good defensively, but to stay up there for so long, I mean, 24-3, very sound, the best defensive team in the country, I believe.
Mhm.
They're gonna be tough come March. A
Yep.
team, it doesn't matter how good you are offensively, because they're gonna really slow you down a whole lot. They're gonna take away what you do best. So, um, but Tennessee, I mean, like you said, to see them up there, I mean, as a Kentucky fan, I know a lot about Tennessee. I
Yeah.
don't, I don't like them at all.
No.
But Dalton Connect, the transfer from I think North Dakota State, he has been
Yeah, he's disgusting.
the he's the best player on their team, and he's probably the best player in the country. He's
Hot take.
just he gets a he gets a bucket whenever he wants, basically.
Mhm.
So, but I mean, just looking through there, I mean, you've got a lot of the big names still, but even SEC wise, you've got Auburn, Alabama, Kentucky, Tennessee. That's 4 teams in the top 16. Um,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
St. Mary's at
Yeah.
17. That's a surprise there.
Which they're
But
in the same
Gonzaga,
conference as Gonzaga, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so. Yeah,
So,
in
and they
which
have gotten their asses handed to them in the past. And actually,
yeah,
they've played them well because I've watched a couple of those games. But to see them take the jump over them, that's kind of cool to see. I like that.
yeah, yeah. Which Gonzaga was supposed to have a down year this year,
Mhm.
and they really weren't looking good until they played Kentucky, and they
Go
came
figure.
out and slapped them in the face and was like, "Hey, we're
Hey, we're
here."
here.
You
Yep.
know, they've
Yeah.
got a big on, and he's big. He's huge, and our bigs can't. Our bigs are all
No.
7 foot, but they're scrawny except Onienso. But back a month and a half ago, he wasn't playing a ton. So, and
Right.
now we're relying heavily on his minutes, especially with Trey Mitchell being out. So, but it's a very different year
Interesting.
because there's not like 2, 3, 4 teams that are just out there
Mm-mm.
dominating, and you're like,
Mm-mm.
these guys are it. One of these people are going to win the national championship. Honestly, you look at the top 25, and there's 10 to 12 teams that could win it,
I
and
agree.
it's
I
going to be
agree.
fun come March. I can't wait.
I think so too. I think this year, obviously we both look and we want our teams respectfully, North Carolina or Kentucky to win. But I
Yeah,
don't know. Like, I mean, both teams have gone on hot streak. I mean, we've gone on a hot streak and then we're kind of falling back down to earth and then we pick it up. And then Kentucky's kind of the same way. They go on like this tear. And once they hit
yeah,
Gonzaga, it kind of started knocking them down a little bit and they lost some confidence or however you want to say it.
yeah,
Um, but looking at it, I obviously besides you, North Carolina and Kentucky out of it, if that were the case, I don't know as I could pick one. Like I probably couldn't pick a bona fide winner. Kind of like you said, there's no team out there that really just dominates consistently.
yeah. And yeah, going through there, I mean, and to hit on your point, about Kentucky and Carolina both being up and down, like with Kentucky, Aaron Bradshaw was out the first 6 games, I think. And then
Hmm.
DJ Wagner gets hurt. And at that point, DJ Wagner's like the cog that makes everything run on our team. And then while he was out, everyone else stepped up. And now Trey Mitchell's out. and he's our leader because he's our veteran leader on the team. But we've played well without him. Had a 3-game home losing streak, first time since like
Yeah.
56 or something stupid like that. But
Yeah,
I
that's
think
crazy.
we're finally hitting a groove. We've had some tight games, some close losses lately, but heck, I mean, Reed Shepard's balling right now.
Yeah, he is.
Antonio Reeves is probably one of the best pure scorers in basketball right now, along with Rob Dillingham. And then your boy RJ Davis, he
Yeah.
had, what, 42 the other night?
Yeah, that was a one-off for sure. But I mean, he's kind of solidifying himself as the ACC Player of the Year. So,
Yeah,
I mean, he's got that in the bag. But
yeah,
I mean, even him though, like the 3 games before that, or even actually the last month before that, he was kind of sliding off, and actually Armando Bacot was picking it up a ton. Like he was getting double doubles. He was scoring over 20, and I mean that's what you need. But again, they're somewhat older of a team, so I have that confidence that they're not going to get razzled, kind of like some of the younger teams do.
yeah.
And for me, special shout out to Arizona.
Yeah.
Mainly because that's where Caleb Love went. I'm really sad he went there. But he's straight out balling out there too. And
Kill.
they're 6th. So I look for them to make some noise, especially with his kind of clutch gene in March Madness. I just hope it's not against Carolina. That would break my heart probably. But
Yeah. Yeah. So
but
looking
good
at
for him.
the team, yeah, for real. So that's what looking at your teams, and to answer your question, I know I kind of went on a run there, but one team that kind of sticks out outside of Kentucky, Carolina, there's two to three teams that I really like. I do like Arizona a lot. I think they're solid. They're a whole team. They can get it done, I believe. Another team is Tennessee.
Ooh,
Tennessee is
that's painful to
tough.
say.
It is, but they're tough offensively and defensively. They're they're probably arguably the best or the second best team in the country. I think they can beat anybody.
I like that.
And then I like Alabama when they're hot. Offensively, they're the number 1 team in the country, but defensively, they're the number 316th team
Yeah.
in the country. But I can't say much. Kentucky's the number 3 team offensively and the 314th defensively. So,
Yeah.
like, if I think Kentucky can win it, Alabama can win it.
Sure.
And they can shoot the lights out. So I like those 3 teams to make a run, make some noise. But yeah, if I had to pick one, it'd be Arizona.
Okay. All right. I like that. There's a lot of high offensive teams in here, and I would be very curious when and if they would go up against Houston. I don't know. Like, yes, they can score 100 plus points a game, but can you do it getting locked down by the number 1 defense in the country? And the other part of that, will the refs let them play the way Houston is able to play? Because I think they do play physical. And in the tournament, that can kind of go either way. In the early rounds, they usually let them kind of ball out a little bit and let them be aggressive. But towards those late rounds, those teams, they kind of fade away because, you don't want to say it's all on the refs, but it seems like they changed the calling a little bit because of the moments. So I'm with you. I like Tennessee. The one thing I do like more than Tennessee or Arizona, just because they were early out last year, if I had to pick one right now, they have the size, they have the guard play, I'm pretty sure they have the defense too, and it's Purdue with the best player in the country. That Edey kid, he is unguardable because there's no one his size. Like, yeah, like you said, you guys have 7-footers too. I mean, I think he's like 7'2" or 7'3", and he's got some beef on him. I mean, he's
Yeah,
a
he's
stud.
physical.
Again, that physicalness kind of depends, but I would honestly pick Purdue just because they have that early out last year, kind of like Virginia did the one year they lost to the 16 and then end up winning it the next. I would pick them because they've been quote unquote maybe the most consistent of everybody, and I can always rely on size at the end of the day. You can't teach size, so
Yeah,
I like it. I like the lineup though. I like I mean, just random teams, like Iowa State being in the top 10, Utah State being in the top 25, and then at 25, South Florida. I mean, they've been in it a couple times.
yeah.
I
There's a
think the
bunch
last
of
time
just,
didn't they make some noise? South Florida?
I believe so,
I mean, that was the one where they kind of went to the Elite Eight, maybe? I can't remember for
I
sure,
think
but
I think so.
they were pretty good. It's shaping up to be a good March for sure.
Yeah,
And obviously this is just 25 teams. I mean, we're going to have 68 technically now.
yeah, 68.
So I look forward
We'll
to
have
it. That ends next week, right? I mean,
yeah, we
conference
Kentucky's
titles
only
start.
got 3. Yeah, so not this Saturday, but next Saturday is the last season or the last game, and then you've got the
Okay.
draws for the conference tournaments, I believe.
It might.
So
Yeah, you're probably right.
yeah, because
I
we've
think
got
Carolina has 3 more games.
we've got
Something like that.
Arkansas Saturday, Vanderbilt Wednesday, at Tennessee Saturday
Oh,
to
this Saturday
finish the season.
or next
No,
Saturday?
next Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, we at Arkansas this Saturday. Or
Okay.
no, at home versus Arkansas Saturday. So, but yeah, it'll be. We'll have to get a live. We'll have to get our brackets on
Yeah.
here too. So that'd
Oh
be
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's for sure. That might be, we're hoping. I mean, big shout out to Corey and the birth of his son. Hopefully that's the next time we see him on this show. We got to check the financials, of course.
That's
But
right.
I think we could get him on for that per se. I mean, that'll be roughly a month in, so hopefully by then they got a little groove going at home and kind of settled in a little bit. So, yeah, that should be a fun show. So 2
It
weeks
will
probably,
be.
maybe. Looking at
Yeah,
that
2-3
conference
weeks, something like
titles,
that.
yeah, towards the end of
Maybe
March,
episode 12, 13, something
12,
like that.
13. Okay.
Yeah. So shout out the Wheeler family.
Yes. Yeah, we like it. Future WKU basketball player. If you saw that on Twitter, that was pretty impressive. I think WKU tweeted him or something saying with his jersey or whatever. So that was kind of cool.
It was cool.
Kind of jumping out so that pretty much sums up college basketball this year. It's been interesting. We don't know who's really on top, which always makes for a good March. So from there, I don't think either of us have been to any March Madness experience, but we want to kind of go into the quote unquote about us. So this is where we're kind of changing the play a little bit, having a little fun. So we're going to start just to kind of keep the sport realm together. We're going to start with favorite sports moment. And I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay. So I'm a big NFL guy. I love college football. College basketball is probably my favorite basketball. I do like the NBA, but I like it more come playoff time when they take it a little more serious.
Mhm.
Okay in hockey, okay in baseball. I need to get into more hockey because that's fun to watch.
It's a cool sport. Cool
And
sport.
it is. And just some odd end stuff. I like it too, but probably my favorite moment has to be because I remember in '01 watching the Patriots win their first Super Bowl at home with my dad. and then 03, 04, all those are great memories. Not only just for me, but spending time with my dad doing that type
Mm-hmm.
things. Um, but probably gotta be my favorite is the 28-3 comeback.
I figured.
Patriots over Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
It was a close between that one and the 14 Super Bowl over the Seahawks.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause I remember very fondly in my mind that we got the ball versus the Falcons. They scored. LeGarrette Blount fumbled. They scored again. Brady throws the pick six to end the
Yep.
half. And I've got just like a toy Patriots helmet, and my son Ezra was wearing it. And he had taken it off, and I remember kicking it across my dad's media room and going upstairs. And I sat upstairs from the rest of the half, which there's only like 2 minutes left. I sat upstairs through the halftime show, and came back down. And I remember telling him, I'm like, if we come back to win this, no doubt about it, Brady's the GOAT. Like, to
Mm-hmm.
come back from this. And then field goal, they score again, 28-3. And then we score a touchdown, miss the extra point. I'm like, this is just our luck. 28-9, not going to win this game whatsoever. But then we score, we get the 2-point conversion, or field goal, score, get the 2-point conversion off the Dante Hightower strip sack. And that's when, like, as soon as he got that, we're still down 16 points. But I'm like, game's over. Brady's winning this. Defense has stepped up. And then we're down 8. And Julio Jones catches the stupid pass, over 2 defenders, tiptoeing the sideline. And I was like, game. And then we get a sack, and then a hold, and then they have to punt. And then it went to overtime. And my favorite thing was, I believe it was Kyle Van Noy. He's sitting on the sideline, and he says, they ask him what he's doing, and he's like, I'm untying my shoes. This game's over. And like the overtime hadn't even started yet. He's taking his shoes off and unbuckling his pads. Like he knew the game was over. He's like, game's over. And they go back and win. And that was probably the best thing I've ever watched in my life. And I would be lying to you if I told you I still don't watch it 8 times a year. So that game will always be ingrained in my memory, and that's the best game I've ever watched in my life. So it's pretty cool.
Okay. All right. I figured that was the one that it was going to be, for sure. I did have yours as kind of second, the Seahawks one too, because that was pretty epic too, more so on the defensive side. But so I like that. And yeah, we all, from there on, there was no challenging Brady's greatness, obviously. So, and we knew he was the best of all time after that. So whether people wanted to admit it or not.
Right.
So mine, I'm not a huge NFL guy. I'm indifferent about it. I'm okay. I keep up with it, obviously, but not a huge that. I do like the NBA, like you said, around playoff time. Hockey was a kind of middle. I mean, not middle, but I enjoy it a lot. But it was kind of based off the Blackhawks and their tear through their 3 Stanley Cups. That kind of made you want to watch it more, obviously. So my big one is MLB. So with saying that, there's no way in hell that there was going to anything beat the Cubs World Series. I mean, it hadn't happened in 108 years. I remember it was like it was yesterday. We're actually not at the house we were at. We were at an A-frame on a lake, and it starts raining there in Ohio, in Cleveland, and it goes, in a rain delay for however long. And at that point they tied it, and I was like, oh, this is Game 7. It's over. Like this is the Cubs' luck. You know, they're gonna this rain delay is gonna mess with their psyche, and it's over. And then they come out. They, I don't recall it as good, but they get up by one. And the most vivid thing that sticks into my mind was guys up to bat for Cleveland, and Cubs pitcher throws it, ground ball to Chris Bryant, and just the chills of this is a lock. Bryant to Rizzo, it's a lock. Like it ain't going. It's not going anywhere. Of course, in the back of my mind, as your Cubs fan, you're sitting there like he's gonna sail this fucking throw. Like it's going into the third row because that's just the Cubs' luck. But to see him gather it and just start smiling right away was probably the most. I'm getting chills about it now talking about it. Like that's the one thing I like watch probably yearly before every MLB season because that just it was amazing. You just broke a curse and they did it. Like and just the throw and the catch and just it was just a big relief at that point. So
Yeah.
That was definitely easily the favorite sport moment. And I've been alive for a few, especially with the Blackhawks and Patrick Kane and Sharp and Taze and just their run, like 3 goals in 17 seconds. Like there was some crazy stuff there too. They were probably the close second, but nothing is topping breaking 100-plus-year-old curse.
Yeah.
And being free, and Theo and all those guys will always be heroes no matter where they go or what it doesn't matter. Like they can come to Chicago and be treated like gods. So easily, without a doubt, my favorite moment. No doubt about it.
Yeah. And I remember, leading up to the game, me and you were texting, and because didn't in like game 5 or 6, Aroldis Chapman, like he blew it, didn't he, in one of those games, or like didn't pitch very well, or and so I remember him coming in game 7 to close it out. It was like, whoa, we'll see, but then like remember watching the game and just being happy for you because that's awesome. And the best part I thought was Rizzo caught it and put the ball in his back pocket.
Yep. Yeah, that wasn't going anywhere.
That was really cool.
Yeah, so. That was it was just a good moment, and and again, I hated Cleveland at that point because that's where LeBron was. The Bulls hated Cleveland. Like it was just a bad hated Cleveland, and I was sad when LeBron and them 3-1 came back 3-1 on Golden State. Little to know later that November, probably at that rate, that the Cubs would do the same thing back to them. 3-1, comeback, game 7 win, and in extra innings after a 2-hour rain delay, like something stupid. Like it's nuts. But I like those moments. That's what you live for as a sports fan, obviously. And I mean, I can't lie to you, all men aren't supposed to cry. There was a tear shed when the Cubs won. Like that means a lot. Like I'm almost, you almost get teary eyed now. It's like, and that'll be forever. And hopefully it'll happen again. We're not going another 100 years. I'm hoping. So, good moments, for sure. So going from the moments, we'll go into favorite live sporting event. So I'm guessing what we mean by this, because you kind of did this list, meaning live being there, correct?
Yeah.
Like favorite live actually at the event. So my favorite, this one's kind of tough. But my favorite live sporting event was probably, again, it's going to be the Cubs. Like first time going to Wrigley Field. Now, if people haven't gone to Wrigley Field, not speaking as a Cubs fan, it is one of the places you need to go, kind of like Boston. You got to go to Fenway Park. I have not been there yet. I'm hoping to get there. But my first game there was I was probably 8. It was for my uncle's 40th, and a lot of people won't like it, but Sammy Sosa was there, and he's my favorite player, obviously, because he was it. Like, he was the guy for Chicago. And being able to see your, like, I'm not going to say life, like, your idol, because Michael Jordan was that for me. I didn't obviously get to see him live, but seeing the next closest thing to your idol, like your sports hero in person up close, is a total crazy feeling. And that's what started the love of the game for me anyway. So that's going to be mine. First time at Wrigley Field seeing the Cubs and Sammy Sosa for sure.
Yeah, that's. I've never been to the only live baseball game I've ever been to, pro wise, is the Cincinnati Reds, which
Okay.
we're looking at, I guess, another 3 hours away from us, so not too far. And I've been there a few times.
Okay.
And
I hear it's a good park.
the first time I went there, I remember I was in middle school, I think, and I went with some friends and their dad, and they had the makeup game, like half of the game from the day before, and in a new game. And Griffey played for the Reds, and Roger Clemens was pitching for the Astros.
Oh,
so that was pretty
Hall of
cool.
Famers.
But it was hot. It was like 100 degrees, and I remember almost blistering because I didn't put sunscreen on as a 13-year-old. But like, who does that? You're 13.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Yeah. So, but other than that, like, it's been a while since I've been to a baseball game. But on my bucket list is when I retire in about 30 years.
Yeah.
I'd like to. I think it'd be cool for us to go to all the stadiums together, check out some games and stuff. I know you've been to quite a few, and you're going to probably add on to that. But
I'll
when
go
we
again.
retire,
I don't care.
We have some time. Yeah, we'll make it a list to get to all those together, and hopefully the pod's still going, and we can.
There we go.
We can do stuff there. That's right.
They'll sponsor it.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. But for me, my favorite live sporting event is I've seen the Patriots. I don't know, 6 times, I think, live. Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Tennessee. Nothing too far. I've been to Atlanta and seen the Falcons play. That one was pretty cool. My dad got tickets through somebody he was working with, and we got to sit in the box. And I got to see Mike Vick play. But they got beat by like 40. But the best one I've probably been to is when me and you went to Indiana.
Yep.
And we saw the Pacers and the Warriors play. It's before the dynasty.
Yeah.
Steph was a baby, and Mark Jackson was still the head coach.
Yep. But all three were there. Thompson, Draymond, and Steph. Yeah.
They had fun. Andrew Bogut, and they had Paul George was on the Pacers. And so I remember they just back and forth battle. It's my first NBA game. Still to this day, my only NBA game I've ever been to. So it was really cool. And I remember, I remember going back and forth, and Paul George hit a big 3-pointer to take the lead by 1 with like 3 seconds left, and then Clay with the high post back down and hit a turnaround fadeaway to win the game.
Yeah, that was insane.
That was awesome. But that was probably my favorite. My close second, because it's so action packed, is I really like going and watching Supercross. We went last year for the first time too, so I really enjoyed that. It was super cool. So after that, my love for Supercross has kind of taken off. So I watch it just about every week now.
Yeah, that was a fun time. That was probably the closest I've been at a sporting event when me and you went. I mean, we were like 4 rows up from the floor, probably 5 maybe. And
yeah, right on it.
Bankers Fieldhouse when, as we all know it now, it's, whatever you said before the podcast. I don't even remember it. I know it as Bankers Fieldhouse. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was wild. Harrison Barnes, Tyler Hansbrough, which was a huge North Carolina legend. Like, there were some guys on there that it was really cool. Like, that was probably my second. Just because it was so close, so fun. Like, that was good. My third was for sure actually being able to see. I went with Dad actually, and that was our first NBA game. We went and saw Derrick Rose, Noah, Luol Deng play the Pacers, and seeing Derrick Rose, his MVP year was insane. Like, that was insane. So
that's pretty cool. And that's me. Well, me and my dad for my number 3 was this. We went because we had went to see the Patriots and the Colts when I was young. Drew Bledsoe was still on the team. He was the starter, and I think it was a year before he got hurt, and I was like, Drew Bledsoe was my idol. And then I seen Brady play Peyton once. That was pretty cool. And then I seen them in Cincinnati. But my number 3 was me and Dad went to the Patriots-Titans game, and we sat front row, 50-yard line behind the Patriots bench. It was just a surprise. He bought me tickets. I was like, what? I'm like, I almost cried. Yeah. Like, we went, and I mean, I was grown. I was like 19. So it was, and I almost cried on him. I'm like,
well, yeah.
So it's like 2011, I think, and that team was real good. And they had Gronk, Aaron Hernandez, RIP.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's an RIP for him. It's just like,
yeah, probably not.
But it was cool, and they beat the tar out of them. They beat them by like 50. And Chris Johnson was on the Titans, and he just come off the Russian title, and it was, I think, week 2 or 1 or 2, and they held him to -6 yards rushing. So that one was impressive. Awesome. That was a lot of fun. But they're all so close, but just trying to pick one, it's tough.
It's tough. It is tough. Yeah, so that wraps up kind of the sporting aspect of quote unquote the show, if you want to call it. So these next 3 topics, we'll go through them quick. These are more like about us personally. So we'll start out with things we enjoy doing most. I'll let you take this one first. What do you like? What do you enjoy doing most?
Yeah, so when I'm not working and raising 6 kids, for me, I don't get me wrong, I love my kids, but things I enjoy doing just for me, I play video games a lot. I like doing that, but I like playing basketball and throwing football in the yard and stuff like that. Throwing baseball, but I like riding dirt bikes and four-wheelers, and but a lot of small things. I don't really enjoy hunting or fishing or a lot of things people would say manly things.
Yeah, right.
I like Yeah. I like grilling and cooking. That's what I grilled some chicken for dinner tonight, so that's good. I like doing that. It's relaxing. I just like kind of hanging out, and in my spare time, what I do most is play video games and shoot basketball with the kids most of the time. So that's what I probably enjoy the most.
I like it. So things I enjoy most are close to the same. So I also more so in the winter, because in the summer, again, we're in kind of 2 different climates. In the winter, playing video games would probably be one, because it's cool. We that is our way of hanging out still 600 miles away. So, and we also, Corey, who's on the show sometimes, he also plays with us some. So it's kind of fun. We're not good by any means. I mean, we get lucky more than anything, but it's funny just to hang out, chill, talk, and then every now and then be competitive in a game where 13-year-olds are kicking your ass. Like,
Yeah.
so that's pretty much what I have on the gaming world. I am more of probably the, the manly man, whatever. Um, Me and my dad go fishing a lot. That is something that when you're younger you don't understand, but when I'm 30 now, you get why you go. So we enjoy doing that. I enjoy golfing. I don't get out and do it as much as possible. But hopefully this
Yeah.
year, actually, my wife got some clubs, so I think we're going to do that as a couple. So that could end really good or really bad. She'd probably be better than me, honestly, at that
Yeah.
rate. Um, so, but that's it. That's pretty much it. I'm also on your bandwagon of I enjoy grilling and cooking too. Outdoor cooking, indoor cooking, I'm not a fan of, but outdoor cooking, hanging out by the grill.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the things. So we're pretty close to the same. I might be a
Yeah.
little
I
more
forgot about
outdoorsy.
golf. I love golf. I don't get to
Mhm.
go much. I go when you come into town or when I
Yep.
come up, and we go play golf together.
Yeah,
I got to get into it more because it is
it's a good game.
relaxing and
Mhm.
awful at the same time. So,
Yes.
and I'm not any good
Yeah.
except the one time, and I'll never, ever, ever stop talking about it. I shot like 9 over par, and it was
Hey.
just an outlier because it's over 100 every time.
Oh yeah. Within the first 9 holes. Like,
Yes, it's
but it's fun. It's the most relaxing and most stressful sport you can play, I think,
amen.
because it's all
Yeah,
on you. Like there is no
yep.
excuse. Even though we make excuses left and right, there's no
The wind
excuse.
was blowing wrong.
Exactly. The club. It's always the club for me. Like
Yep.
this club sucks. Like so
If I had a $2,500 pair of clubs, I'd be
exactly.
hitting it way better.
Exactly. Way better. Probably not. I'd probably be shanking them even worse. Um so that was fun. We enjoy, a lot of things we enjoy are the same. A couple differences, so that's good. Second thing, take 3 things with you on an island. So when you put this on the note, I needed some clarity and I didn't ask you before the show. So are people we love there? Does that count? Are we all stranded there, or is it just us on the island?
You can
Because
be
that affect
stranded with 2 people.
2 people. Okay, and that doesn't count in our 3 things, right?
No. So you
Okay,
can name your 2 people you'd like to be stranded with,
and
and
then
then
3
the
things.
3 things you bring with you.
Okay, so obviously, 2 people. That's kind of well. Obviously now it's going to be my wife
I'm
Mandy and our. Well, I don't know. I mean, got a daughter
just
now,
kidding.
so it's kind of gotta pick
I'm
her.
leaving
I
my
think.
kids.
Um, So probably those 2. And then the 3 things I'm taking on an island. Um, I want clothes. Like I'm not about this naked and afraid stuff. Like I want clothes and definitely need that. I need probably uh I want a boat for the island.
Oh,
And then I got to go with like I want food. Like I don't want to have to work for food. Like I'll work for everything
yeah.
else, but have a plane drop my care package of food down. So again, pretty much the 3 things are clothes, a boat, and food for me.
Okay. Pretty good. That's what I literally wrote this in the notes and gave it no thought. So
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
coming in here just like, oof, I gotta think of something. So being stranded, I probably want to be with some crafty people who
Mm,
can do some stuff like because you ask for a boat, you're gonna have a rowboat because you don't have any gas.
that's fine.
So I'm gonna go with some crafty people who can do some things and make some stuff. So probably be stranded with my wife, just to have some company. She's pretty crafty though,
Well,
and
there
her
you go.
dad,
Okay.
Dwayne,
No
can do
kids.
anything. No. Like what kind of use are they to me at this point? If we're stranded on an island, they're gonna be like, I'm hot.
Yep.
And I got 6. I can't pick 2 out of them.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean,
That'd get you in trouble.
I could, but
That'll get you
yeah.
in trouble.
So yeah, they're gonna be like, I'm hot. It's too hot out here. That's what they do now. They go outside and it's 70 degrees. It's hot. Can I come in?
Yeah.
I need some water. No, you can't. Go play.
You can't.
So drink from the hose like I did when I was a kid.
That's right.
So the 3 things I would bring would be a water filter,
Good call.
probably. A hat, keep the sun on my face.
Okay.
And fishing pole.
Money. I like that.
Just so I can get my food.
That's right.
I don't want to get sunburned. I hate being sunburned. And then water filter, because
yes,
I mean
you're surrounded by water.
Yeah. So I'll be good then. Other than that, I think we can handle just about everything else. I may not be able to, but the people I'm with will be able to handle all of it. So
that's what you got to do in times of crisis like this.
I can be a little crafty, so
I can confidently say neither of us are going to be in this situation. Nowhere even close to this situation. So thank God for that.
That's right.
So the last little thing is 5 must-have apps we can't live without on the phone. So I took out the generic ones like message, phone, photo, like your Apple Basic, because we both have iPhones. Your Apple Basic apps. So for me, my number one most likely is Twitter. I think it is the best app in the world. And I will go down in flames saying that. I'm sorry, X, whatever you want to call it now.
It's Twitter.
It's tops. Like pure content, comedy, crazy, and sports. Like it's the best.
Yeah.
My second is probably on a day-to-day basis. This one's tough. I'm going to say probably YouTube second and then Twitch third, because I watch a lot of it. It's free entertainment, and the people on there are entertaining.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and this is only because I feel this is the only way you communicate, period, I have to throw in Snapchat, because we have a streak going on that is absolutely crazy, and I would be pissed if it disappeared because I didn't pick it in this. So, I mean, we're the 1500s, 1563 to be exact. I just looked. So that is on there. And my fifth, I'm going to say probably Bleacher Report over ESPN. I like Bleacher Report's style of articles, and I also like their kind of social media take on their app, quote unquote, like their Fire. I just like it a little better than ESPN. So those are my 5. We'll go with Twitter. We'll go with YouTube and Twitch. So 3. 4 is Snapchat, because I'll be pissed if we lose the streak. And then 5, ending it with Bleacher Report for my sports.
Fair. We've got a lot of similarities in there, because my number one is Twitter as well.
Yes.
You had a great list, and you're sitting there and all your points are what I thought about.
Yeah.
I like Twitter.
It's the best.
I get my sports content. I can get a good laugh. I send stuff to my wife on her. She doesn't have it, but so she just loads it up on her Safari. But there's good stuff. Me and you send stuff back and forth.
Oh yeah.
It's a good way to I probably use it. Honestly, I think it's the second most used app on my phone. TikTok is number 1, but I was just scrolling bored.
Yes, which you're bored a lot.
And I use it a lot for work.
Yes.
But it didn't make my list. So Twitter number one, Snapchat is number two, but it's only because of our streak. If our streak ever ends, I'm deleting Snapchat.
Yeah, I won't need it at all.
I have a streak with my wife as well for 692 days.
So me and Mandy do not talk at all on Snapchat. It's I am literally on there. I have, all our friends, obviously. I am literally on there.
Yeah.
For you. So that should mean a lot. I am keeping an app on my phone.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And that's what I send stuff to other people, but like a lot of the time, like Mandy, she'll send me a picture of Palmer. And so and then I'll send her a picture of BK. And like that's pretty much the gist of the conversations. I talk to my wife on there some. Like we send a snap streak back just to keep the streak alive. So if the streaks ever die, I will not use the app anymore. We'll go back to old-fashioned text messaging.
iMessage. Yes.
Yeah, it works great.
Because I can keep up with what I'm saying. I'm getting older now.
Oh, yeah. Before we could, save it for 24 hours or whatever.
That was rough.
I remember sending you something and be like, oh, what did I even say? And you'd be like, oh, you said this. Or you'd message me. I don't even know what I said. But back and forth. So, yeah, if it ever ends, we're getting off there.
Yeah.
But for now, it's got to stay.
Yes.
Number 3 is YouTube TV. It's where I watch most of my TV, except at bedtime. Basically, my kids run my TV, especially Noah. I wake up in the morning, he wakes up, we turn on SpongeBob. SpongeBob stays on all day long, even if he's not watching it. I turn it off. He comes in there. Where's my SpongeBob? Where's my SpongeBob? So it's got to go back on. At night, we don't watch a lot of TV. We just kind of hang out with the kids after school, stuff like that. Leave the TV off for the most part. So I watch the TV in my bedroom. But during the day, if I'm watching anything, it's on my phone. So YouTube TV is number 3. It's got to stay. And then number 4 is iHeartRadio. I listen to it. I listen to Fox Sport Radio just about every day while I'm working. I've got my AirPods in, and I've got the Dan Patrick Show in the morning, and then the Herd on the second half of the day. All day, every day. It's what I listen to.
Okay.
And then number 5 is Bleacher Report. I got to have some kind of sports content. It was tight between it and ESPN because I have all the scores on ESPN a little bit more readily at hand, I guess. But I do like the articles and stuff through Bleacher Report better than ESPN. So Bleacher Report's number 5. So my top 5: Twitter, Snap, YouTube TV, iHeartRadio, Bleacher Report.
Okay. I like that. I think honorable mention for both of us is probably TikTok, because we send a lot of stuff back and forth on TikTok. So, and you use it for work, and we actually use it for the podcast too. So
got the whatever grandes and the chinos.
Yes, exactly. That guy's awesome. Freezer Tarps. If you haven't looked at it, he's a must watch for sure. So
that's right.
That kind of wraps it up. That wraps it up for us in a sense of that's a little bit about us. I kind of want to do this maybe every so often throughout the show to kind of give people a little more insight of who we are.
Yeah.
That way they get to know us on a little more of a personal level. So, so that's it. Why don't you hit them with that outro this time?
All right, sounds good. Well, we just want to thank everybody, however and wherever you may be listening. If you like the content you're getting, hit subscribe or the follow button on any podcast platform, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and join us next week. Peace.